My name is Kristi Herkman. I'm from Wisconsin in the Milwaukee area. I have two little boys, Chase and Oliver. Chase is 5, Oliver is 2, and we live with my husband. My biggest struggles with activities was I'm a nanny, so I have my own boys, but then I also have 3 other kids each day of the week for 2 different families. Before we started doing, join the activity room, when we were doing activities, we definitely, it was just kind of hit or miss. I mean, the kids might say, oh, we want to paint today, or, occasionally they'd see something, a picture of something that they wanted to do, or they had some, a bin with some supplies they could dig out and pick out random things from. But trying to do activities with them was as much more challenging, let's say, than with some of the other groups of kids who were more into doing activities and wanted to do art and wanted me to come up with projects for them. One of the biggest reasons I want to do activities with my kids is that, it's learning through play, and it's really helpful, for them to be able to be picking up things when we're home, that they wouldn't necessarily be just learning just by playing, as much as imagination is great, it's nice for them to have some number recognition and letter recognition and things like that. And also it helps with some structure throughout the day. I mean, there's definitely times a day, especially when I'm trying to make meals, when it's nice if I can sit them down with an activity, and even if I have to stop and help them a bit, it's nice for them to be a little less of the craziness of them running around and chasing each other and screaming while I'm trying to prepare food. So that's definitely been a big help. I would describe myself now, after having joined the activity room as a mom, as I think I'm a little more relaxed. I think I'm learning to kind of be a little more patient, understand, especially with my youngest, that, there's a lot of stuff he's just not going to be interested in. And that's fine. He's perfectly capable of entertaining himself, especially when I, have the 3 boys of playing by himself while I do activities with the other 2, or even, 4, depending on how many are home at the moment. But so that's kind of nice, or finding ways to include him in something that he just letting him do it his way, whether it's, which I think is the biggest thing, because a lot of times he has an idea of what he wants to do with supplies, which might not be what the activity is, but letting him take the lead and go for it. My biggest tips for doing activities, especially with multiple kids, is, having things, the more you can have stuff set up ahead of time is really helpful. And kind of, again, letting them have some space to kind of figure it out themselves. So if something, just because you have an idea of what the activity should be and what it should look like, being willing to let them have that space to be creative and do it their way. And I think the other thing is not being afraid to do messy activities. Get an old tablecloth and throw it down, and or do it outside or even in the bathtub. I mean, there's so many options. I've seen people do it in a kiddie pool. My favorite part of the activity room is definitely the community. I mean, it's so great and helpful, and everybody's always, willing to, give you lots of ideas or suggestions when you need help with something. I'm really glad that I found it, and, I've been really enjoying it. Just jumping in. I feel like you just kind of got to jump in with 2 feet, and that really makes all the difference in the world when you kind of start doing it, especially regularly. The more you'll see that the kids really start to get into it and enjoy it.